Good afternoon and welcome to today's edition of The Buzz, your social media program on television. It's Tuesday, the 7th of May, 2019, and my name is Patience Bilukafa. I welcome you to today's program. All right, basically on the show, we look at issues trending on social media, be it politics, be it lifestyle, be it entertainment, whatever the issue is, as long as social media users find it interesting enough to comment on, then we'll definitely bring it here. And joining us at the table this Tuesday afternoon is a pleasure to have Mr. Shoaib Samson back on the show. He's a builder and also a chartered economist, amongst other things. Good afternoon, Mr. Shoaib.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, good afternoon for having, and thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Yeah. Also at the table this afternoon, we have Prince Francis Chilaka with us on the show. He's a social worker, like I like to call him. He's the executive director for Kut Foundation, an NGO that actually works with the underprivileged in the society. And he's also a social commentator, amongst other things. Welcome to the show, Mr. Chilaka. Yes.
I can see you're pronouncing the name like an Igbo woman.
Chilaka. Okay, welcome everybody to the show.
Thank you.
All right, we hope in the course of today's program, Chuks Nwanne of the Guardian newspapers might be joining us. We hope you can make it here. All right, remember, as a viewer, you can also be a part of the program by using the number 0802-836-8971 to interact with us via SMS only. And of course, we have very interesting topics we're discussing this afternoon. But we'll start with trending news. And the first one is actually on the President, Muhammadu Buhari. There's a video that is currently making the rounds on social media. And a lot of Nigerians, are not having this joke. It's supposed to be a joke, from the president, but looking at the situation of things in the country, it's looking like Nigerians don't want to joke anymore. Anyways, President Muhammadu Buhari has awarded a pass mark to the efforts of the Acting Inspector General of Police, Muhammadu Adamu, saying the fact that the IG has been losing weight is evidence that he is working very hard at securing the nation. The president was speaking on arrival from his 10-day private visit to the United Kingdom. In a video tweeted by a journalist from the Voice of Africa, Saleh Shehu Ashaka, via his Twitter handle, the reporter asked the president, "Are we likely to see a different approach in the fight against insecurity, especially kidnapping, which is a big issue now, sir?" The president responded and said, "I have just seen the IG. I think he is losing weight, so I think he is working very hard." End of quote. All right, that video, we have it. And I'm sure all of us at the table have seen that video since yesterday. But let's go and quickly take a look at that clip, and then we'll come back and talk.
Are we likely to use a different approach in the fight against insecurity, especially kidnapping, which is a big issue now, sir?
No, I have just seen the IG. I think he is still losing weight, so I think he is working very hard.
Are we likely to use a different approach in the fight against insecurity, especially kidnapping, which is a big issue now, sir?
No, I have just seen the IG. I think he is still losing weight, so I think he is working very hard.
There's a smarter way to live with Airtel Binge Plan, the ideal data plan for those heavy data moments. Get a 2 GB daily binge plan for 500 Naira. Dial *141# to activate. Live smarter with data.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back. All right. So many responses, to what the president said on social media. But then let me hear from our panelists today. Mr. Shoaib, I'm sure you saw that video. What was your initial response or reaction?
When I saw the video, I was rolling on the floor. I was like, what the heck? Because we have gotten to a point where leadership should identify matters to joke with. You know, he's trying to be humorous. He's trying to bring about a lot of humor. You know, trying to be easy with everyone. But these are sensitive issues that pertains to life. You know, it's no joke that someone, father, mother, children, had lost their lives. People had lost loved ones. And even at that, if he was going to joke with, because that matter is quite sensitive.
The issue of security or insecurity, as it were.
Yes, because it's a combination of kidnapping, banditry. You know, people lost. You can't even move from Abuja to Kaduna at this point. Is that
without
bad?
fear of
without fear
being kidnapped?
You know, so you understand that this is an issue that has economic impact, that has that is influencing the lives and the freedom of the people in those areas. So the president is coming in and they expect some feedback to show that he's in solidarity with them. But him telling them that yes, the IG is lean. We know the IG is not a fat person. He's never been fat. So whether he's lean, we can't even see that. But he had seen that and he felt that the guy is doing a lot of work. You know, the IG of police is doing a lot of work. But that shouldn't have been the response at that point of the presidency. More
like a reassurance to the people of Nigeria.
It should have come from the angle of reassuring Nigerians that, yes, I'm sure that the Nigerian police, they are doing the best and they are going to make sure that they attain this.
All right, Mr. Chilaka, I understand the sensitivity of the issue, but there is anything wrong in the president, just showing us his humorous side?
I think Nigerians have lost every sense of humor.
Every sense of humor. True.
First and foremost, I think that there is nothing wrong with what the president said. It's something any other person would have said.
True.
You know, the same scenario. But there's a message. And let us leave the messenger and take the message.
Okay.
The message is that he believes that the IG is working. That is what Nigerians should go home with. I think the seeming hatred Nigerians have for this presidency is overclouding their sense of judgment.
Okay.
You know, so in as much as yes, some of us do not still agree with some of the policies that of the government and the way they're handling issues, but I think the comment of the president should not spark any kind of the kind of argument and the kind of comments people are making. No, the president was just trying to be like any other father, trying to be lively for once. So I think I give it to him. It's a good comment he made.
Okay. All right. Yes, I took it, you know, as a joke, as it was meant to be, but I also understand the other side of it, seeing that the question asked, you know, was bordering on a very serious issue, and it's the current reality of Nigeria. People would have expected some sort of reassurance coming from him, but he reassured Nigeria, but in a very funny way.
You know, the president just came in.
Yes, I understand.
Yes, so he just came back from 10 days holiday, personal holiday. So I think it was too. A question that was too soon
for that to have been thrown at him.
Yes, no matter the fact that he's the president, but it was too soon.
But then trust. Okay, you want to say something?
But you can't excuse the fact that Nigerians have been waiting for the past 10. This issue had lingered for long. They've been waiting for the past 10 days, knowing fully well that their president had not been around. So they are full of expectations, and you know, reporters.
In the absence of the president, there was no vacuum.
I agree.
So let us see. I'll say this. Let me say this. I've always said this. We need to move away from the president. The states that are going through all this crisis, they have governors. We need to move away from the president.
Okay, let's not dwell too much on this because it's not our main topic for today. But then trust social media users to run away with this topic. Reno Omokri, with the handle at Reno Omokri, we know him as a big critic on social media. Of course, did not hide his mouth on this issue, and he did say that if size were to determine performance, perhaps APC withheld their ticket from Ambode because you know why. All right, let's move on to the other one. Nigerian Army bans motorcycles in 7 states. The Nigerian Army has banned the use of motorcycles in 7 states, all in the northern region, to combat the spate of violence witnessed over the past few months. The states affected are Kano, Katsina, Zamfara, Sokoto, Kaduna, Kebbi, and Niger. In an official statement released on Sunday, the acting director of Army Public Relations, Colonel Sagir Musa, said it has been observed that armed bandits, kidnappers, criminal elements, and their collaborators use motorcycles to perpetrate their crimes, particularly around the forests where the armed bandits, criminals, and kidnappers hibernate, and all around where troops are conducting operations alongside other security agencies. The general public, particularly in the northwest and some parts of north central in Nigeria, where Harbin Kunama is ongoing, are enjoined to bear with the Nigerian army as concerted efforts are being made to combat the insecurity menace ongoing within the area. The army also warned that anyone caught using motorcycles within the named areas will be taken for an armed bandit, criminal, and kidnapper, and will face dire consequences.
Well, I totally support that, but I would say this: we've had situations where motorcycles, popularly known as Okada, are banned, and it's the same politicians who bring them back.
Empowerment program.
Yes, so we need to disemphasize the idea of using motorcycle as an empowerment tool and think more of better things to do for the people. It's not only in this state. I think it should be banned almost in all the states. Almost in all the states, because it's the fastest way to escape. So I support the army for doing that.
But while we're looking at it from that angle, let's not forget that it is a genuine means of transportation in Nigeria. What alternatives are people left with?
When something that is genuine becomes
totally take it away.
Patience, when something that is genuine, for the good of everybody becomes abused and used wrongly, you throw it out.
All right, Mr. Shoaib.
Okay. As much as I agree with you that there might be chances of abuse of use of motorcycles, but we must also look at it that if we say because drinking beer makes people to abuse it, people misbehave and begin to, and because of that you say, anybody that drinks beer has likelihood of abusing it, and it will now begin to become a menace to the society. Ban beer drinking.
Outrightly.
I think our security forces should go beyond trying to solve problems from the top. They should go to the roots. Security issues is hugely, like 60 to 70% of intelligence gathering in solving their problems, as against trying to say ban Okada. If they ban Okada in or motorcycle use in the north, are there no other means? I think that's quite
you see, you picked up a point, and I agree with you.
Yes.
Intelligence gathering. The army has gotten an intelligence, and that intelligence is that this is what these guys are using.
It's a tool.
It's a tool they're using. So the army is right to ban it now because it is part of the intelligence gathering they have gathered.
Especially in those areas. Those affected areas.
I've been to the north quite a number of times, and I tell you that criminal elements in the north are a very small fragment of that entire population. Will you now say because someone had gone to the ocean, Bar Beach, he drowned while swimming, and because of that you say everybody should...
No, the examples you're
I get what you mean.
No, the examples you're giving do not add up here. Every one of us, we're all pained with what this bandits are doing. And any step that would stop it, I think Nigerians should come out to support it. Let me give you a typical example. When the whole menace of Boko Haram started, it was like police and thief. That's what my kids used to call it. Because you see them on Okada. Any small thing they're on Okada, they're taking off. But we ignored it. We saw the signs, we ignored it. So I think that the army in banning Okada in this state have done the best thing so far.
Okay.
So what we should say is, let us see how effective that will be in the coming days.
All right, let's push ahead because of time. The states affected once again are Kano, Katsina, Zamfara, Sokoto, Kaduna, Kebbi, and Niger. 0802-836-8971 is the number to use. Our first major story for the day is Nigeria's low life expectancy index. A new report by the United Nations Population Fund has reiterated the obvious. Life has become really shot in Nigeria. In its 2019 State of the World report, the United Nations agency says Nigeria's life expectancy is now 55 years. This ranks the country at number 178 globally. For now, Nigeria, with a GDP of $375.8 billion, according to the World Bank, has the highest number of out-of-school children in the world at 13.2 million. The quality of life is low. Only 29% of the entire population has access to sanitation. 31.5% lacks access to potable water, so says the agency. This ranking, I think it's shameful, embarrassing, but it also re-establishes the extremely dire reality that Nigeria is a failing state in many respects. All right, let's go and quickly take a video, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about this front burner issue. We'll be back.
Many Nigerians are expected to die before or in their 50s. When asked why Nigerians that young, some say it depends on one's relationship with God.
Nowadays now, people tend to smoke, do other things, do others that is not it's not of God. But if you go near to God, and God will sustain you and make you grow older.
One of the main reasons is frustration. Too many things to be done. The young ones, after going to school, there are no jobs, and out of frustration, they don't have money to eat, to feed, and to go on with life. Even when they are sick, they cannot be cared for.
We are in an environment where you say life is short and brutish. And a vast majority of people will die in their 20s and 30s. Some few will live up to 40s, and very fewer will live up to 70 and 80. Poor nutrition. Even the food we get, we cannot ascertain the quality. Fake drugs, even if you are sick, you are not even sure that the drugs you're using will solve your problem.
Generally, health experts believe Nigerians can live longer if they eat healthily, exercise regularly, and the healthcare delivery system is accessible to all.
Public enlightenment. People should check their blood pressure frequently. People should check their blood cholesterol frequently. And people should check their blood sugar, even if they are well.
Even when people eat correctly and cultivate an active routine, they still have to deal with the daily challenges of air pollution and other environmental issues that put their health at risk.
Welcome back. Okay, if you're just joining us, you're watching your social media program on TV, The Buzz, and of course you can be a part of the show by using the number 0802-836-8971. While that report was going, our third panelist joined us at the table, Chuks Nwanne of the Guardian newspapers. Good afternoon, Chuks. Welcome to the show.
Sorry, I'm going to
take us back for a bit. Go ahead.
Because the issue of banning of Okada, and I heard when my colleagues were talking about it, and I think the problem with Achaba, like they call it in the north, is that they are not registered. Unlike here, where you have Okada with plate number.
Exactly, they don't have, yes. And then put it on the road. Yeah.
Which is very dangerous. So you don't even know who owns the Okada, you don't know who the Okada is registered in his name. So I think beyond banning, I think the army should also ensure that every bike in the north are registered with plate numbers, so we can identify who owns who and who did what.
Okay. Good point.
For me, that was exactly what the point I was trying to make, that you can't provide blanket solutions. It's a security problem, and it doesn't apply to everyone. You can streamline your intelligence to those people who are concerned. If you go to Maiduguri today, the bulk of the people who are perpetrating Boko Haram is a tribe, and the military actually knows that tribe. When you see them, you know them, you know. So and they know where they are. So security should go beyond saying that let's
everybody
ban everybody.
Now
Let's
has
say
to. I
there
get
will
what
be
you mean.
movement in Maiduguri.
Okay.
No.
Look, I think it's good to ban it for everybody. Let me tell you the truth. You need to understand the pains of people who have lost people in the north.
I get what you mean.
You need to ban it for everybody, and then those who are sincere eventually will know them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's not overflog the issue of banning of Okada. Thankfully, Lagosians, we can still enjoy Okada for a bit.
In some areas.
Yeah, for a bit. All right, let's come back to this low life expectancy index of Nigerians that has been pegged at 55 years. Our population now is 201 million people, according to recent online statistics. Because there's no census to actually, say. But of that figure, 91 million Nigerians are wretchedly poor. So is it a surprise, that the United Nations is now saying, look, as a Nigerian, I mean, you don't expect to live beyond 55 years only by grace? Let me start with you, Chuck.
I don't think it's a surprise for me, personally. My friend Olamide, in his very popular song, Wo,
okay.
I don't know if some of us listen to the lines. He said, life is short like Nika. Life is short like Nika. That's actually what he was saying in that song. There are so many reasons why Nigerians won't live long, for God's sake. There are so many reasons why Nigerians won't live long. Take poverty away. Environmental issue. Every night all the generators are on. We are having all kinds of gas being flared up and down. In Port Harcourt, I was in Port Harcourt the other time, and normally in the morning I like to at least have fresh air. So when I tried to open my window, the lady said, "Sir, I don't think you want to open your window." And I said, "Why?" She said, "Because there's this, you find this black fumes coming in, and it's everywhere.
From gas flaring.
Yeah, and the people live there.
Yeah.
So how do you expect those people to live long?
To live long.
So there are so many reasons why Nigerians don't rest. We are restless people. We don't even take time to take care of ourselves. A Nigerian is sick, he's trying to save money. Save money for what? You're already down. You have to save your life. So I think the statistic is not a surprise. It's just that my own worry is that how do we, what are we supposed to do to make sure we improve on that figure? 55 is
55 years is wow.
I'm just how many years to 55?
It went from 55.
And then somebody is saying 55 is the, so I think it's part of things that we need to sit down as a country and begin to look at these things and then see what can we do, what can the government do, what can the corporates do, because once it's an environmental issue, it's not something you leave to government alone, because it means everybody is involved. All the banks in this country, they are using generator. Everybody is on lista. So we must find
individuals.
That's what I'm saying. If you put all this in, so even if you say, "Oh, I want to live good life," you breathe. What you breathe in, you are not sure of. So
how about the noise?
And then the noise.
I think a lot of people don't know that noise has a negative effect.
It's element on its own.
Yeah.
Noise is not something you want. Okay, you are on the streets of Lagos, just the noise, horn, all kinds of noise coming from every angle is enough to cut down your lifespan.
All right.
I think I would not take it a different way. I would like to believe that the whole thing, the whole analysis and report centers on one thing: bad governance. The reason why the life expectancy of Nigeria is failing and it's not going to improve is because of bad governance. If we have good governance in place, a lot of things that ordinarily would reduce the lifespan of Nigerians would have been taken care of. Now, when I say bad governance, look at the health sector. Look at the education. Even water supply. Or is it power? So, for me, it's about government waking up to have responsibilities of knowing that it is not about who has been elected as president or governor, but it's about those who have elected you. Politics is supposed to be a system that caters for the poor, that caters for the masses. But what we have in Nigeria is that our politics caters for those who already have. And all they do is accumulate and accumulate. And I ask myself, okay, this thing is now 55 years, are they not going to be part of those who will die?
Every Nigerian is a potential victim. Yes,
you know, so I think the point is that we need to, the government has a big role to play. I keep saying that the job of government is to create an enabling environment. This government, in the next 4 years, I expect that Mr. President will create an enabling environment for the country to move forward.
All right, I'm happy you talked about health because according to the statistics I have, let's even talk about maternal health now. You know, in Nigeria, one Nigerian woman dies every 13 minutes. So that means you have a total of 109 women who die every day and from preventable causes related to pregnancy and childbirth.
Sorry, patience, let me say this.
Every single day.
No woman should die out of pregnancy.
Or trying to give birth.
Yes, it shouldn't. Because if you look at our forefathers, it's rare to hear that a woman died during pregnancy or during delivery.
And there are no technology.
And then, yes, but now we have technology. You see somebody will go in for a CS. After the CS, the next day they say the woman has passed on. So it's either we have quack doctors, or we have equipment, or we don't have equipment. So something is fundamentally wrong.
From that report we saw, I mean, if the doctor, that was the doctor who was even saying when you're sick, you go to the hospital, you are not even sure of the quality of drugs. You know, that you're taking.
Or medication you're getting.
All right, Mr. Shebi.
I read that report and I actually saw that the life expectancy for women is about 55, while men is about 54.
52, actually.
You know, the report I read, they wrote 54. It was just figures, percentage. But it tells you that women has more life expectancy than men. And it's actual. That figure is actual. You look at our mothers, you only see the fathers around when they are eating 60, 65, 70. It's the mother that will still be alive. Most of the fathers actually die from 55 to, because the pressure the man had to put on his head is killing. Eventually he will let go. You know, so you look at our issues. A chief had already said that governance is a major problem. Apart from governance, government is key. The way we run our life, attitude of Nigerians to things is also key. Someone whose salary is 50,000 naira is aspiring to compete with his colleague whose salary is 50,000 naira. He want his lifestyle
to be the same.
He pressurizes himself to live that life that he doesn't have the material capacity to do. So that months pressure on us to begin to do things. You are going to end up putting your hands in things that doesn't concern you. Those are attitudinal effects from humans. But the role of government will have made life even easier for us. But don't also forget that people in government are from the society. So we are just seeing a lift of these samples of who we are in government. If you say someone is stealing in government, he has been stealing since he was in primary school. He's not just stealing. You know, this is a father who used to sleep with the house help. Now when he gets to become an MD or something, he's going to be sleeping with his spouse. So these are attitudes that are gathered over the years. And we need to make sure that gradually we begin to get sensitized on how we live life. Don't pressure yourself. Don't go and begin to take responsibility that is not yours. Don't say because you want to impress
But
anybody.
the bulk of this blame, at whose doorstep are we putting it?
Government.
The government.
Yes.
Okay.
Government. I was in Kano, I think that was on Saturday, and I saw a lot of roads, on bridges that is being constructed by the present government of Kano. I was impressed. Initially, when you go to Kano, the queue alone is killing. You spend like 2 hours before getting to your destination. But from the airport to Chalawa, I barely did 1 hour. Despite it was a Friday. So if government had played their roles effectively, life would have been easier for Nigerians to live if government had played their roles in education, in infrastructure, in employment, life would have been better. You know, so I definitely blame the government.
Okay, while we're talking about putting the bulk of the blame at the footstep of the government, I also appreciate what you said about behavior, our own individual attitude to life. And I think this message coming from Daniel in Ekwaja also agrees with that. He says, the rate of people taking ethanol are increasing daily in the name of so-called bitters, locally made in different brands. This is a very big issue. Everywhere you turn, everywhere you turn, you see, everywhere you turn, you know, you see, and people are consuming this thing in the name of buying jadi, and I don't know, you know, and people are also dying from it.
It's because of frustration. People are frustrated. A man wakes up from sleep, he doesn't know what his family is going to eat that day and the next day. People are frustrated. I mean, Nigeria was not a country where you talked about suicide. Today, it's becoming rampant.
It's everywhere.
So people are frustrated. And like I keep saying, because of the frustration, government needs to come in. Government needs to wield the big stick. And in wielding that big stick, what government needs is to sit back and understand the tenets of good governance.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to say this. This is entirely my opinion, but it's as a result of what I've observed over time. I think we need to pay attention to housing.
Okay.
Housing is very important. Housing solves a lot of problems. Most men you see die because they can't find money to pay for house rent. It's one of the major reasons why they have heart attack and all kinds of pressure. Because if it's about we can't find food to eat, then we sleep until we find food. But you can't pay rent. The landlord is here waiting to throw everybody out. That's you know, when you're watching your family and your children or your property through it. It's a very traumatic experience. A lot of men don't want to go through. It leads them to drinking, and they drink because they want to forget. And you see, we need to also attach to housing is that if you do proper housing as a government, what it means is that you ensure that where people live, the environment is conducive because it's government. You plan it, that you have the toilet facilities, you have every other facility. You make sure the environment is clean. But what happens when government don't get involved is that anybody can build anything and put people in there, and they live there, and all kinds of diseases are flying around.
And then you haven't really solved anything.
You are even creating more problems. So that's why I think this idea of rent to own is something the federal government should begin to pay attention to. So people should be able to live in a house, pay rent after, and then own it. What it means is that even as a family, we can't find food to eat, we have a place to put our heads. It's very important. It's very, very, very. If you know what a lot of men are going through, you're talking about the statistics that say there is 54. Yes, why would they die? Why? Well, just why wouldn't the man? There's poverty, the economy is bad, and then you can't now take care of your family as a hell. You are finished now. What are you living for? Well, that's why you find suicide. And if you check, this I'm telling you, if you check the statistics of men living in the rural area, they don't go through this. Why? They live in their ancestral homes. They don't. No landlord threatens them.
There's no pressure.
There's no pressure.
As much as
men in the cities, because
urban centers.
To get if in this Lagos we are living, for you to live in a good flat, moderate flat, you should have up to 300 and 350,000, no matter the location in Lagos.
How many location?
That's what I'm saying. No matter the location, at least, no matter the location, you have to. That's basic. So, how many people? How much is the minimum wage? How much? How do you need to save the money to even be able? So, this is why it's huge. It's huge.
Well, it's a lot of issues, rolled into one. Even the men who can afford to pay the rent, they're seemingly doing well. They might be dying, on the other hand, from their businesses. I mean, inflation rates, lending rates, and all of that. Maybe you're owing the banks. It's a lot of issues. So, like we rightly said, the government needs to move in. There's a deficit in terms of infrastructure. The system is really not working.
We should also
that,
reduce
so many things
the number of children we have. That's also another problem.
That's true. In addition to that, finally, just like I said earlier, that our attitude to living is also very key. Someone who earns 20,000 naira is eyeing an apartment of 250,000 naira. He knows his salary is going to go up. If that apartment is going to go up, you should look for somewhere that is commensurate with his income. People should not put themselves under unnecessary pressure. I didn't live. At the time, I used to live in Songo, and it was very far, but that was what I can afford at the time. And things begin to change gradually. So people should try and look at cutting their cake according to their size. If you know that your income is not much, don't do more than 2 children, 3 children. You can cater for them. But you'll be shocked that someone that earns 20,000 naira is a security man. Every year he's giving birth. He will always celebrate. He has 5 children, he has 6 children. And you tell him
he has to relieve
God, they give the thing.
some way. You know what I mean?
Like, you need to be careful. Honestly.
No, but it's true.
Okay, this is a very serious issue. Okay, let's move on from this topic. But then to cap it all, the United Nations Population Fund has said life expectancy in Nigeria now, according to recent statistics, is 55 years of age. Okay, 55 years. So the government needs to do something and do it quickly and timely. 55 years is too poor. I mean, you've hardly lived at 55. And then you might be wondering, what's the best country really to live in? According to their statistics, it's Monaco. So for those who want to relocate,
Monaco,
France. Yeah. Monaco is the best place in the world to live in, where you can, everything works, you know, yes. All right, let's move ahead. Federal government blocks governors from monopolizing local government allocations. Gentlemen, are we finally where we want to be? We've discussed this issue severally on the show. So finally, taking effect from the 1st of June this year, you know, the local governments will actually receive their money as they are meant to, and not the other way around, where the governors actually get access to the money first and then do as they like with it. Anyways, June 1st, like I said, has been set as takeoff date for direct allocations to the 774 local government areas in Nigeria. Also, daily cash withdrawal from local government accounts have been limited to 500,000 daily. Any transaction above 500,000 must go via checks or e-transfer. All right.
I think I'll go first.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm so happy. Yes, I'll say yes.
Obviously,
it simply shows that the government has a listening ear, and we, in as much as we shouldn't always be condemning, but we should praise the government for taking this giant stride. Now, but I have a question, and it's been bothering me since I got this information. Is now the states have gone to create LCDAs. How are they going to finance them? Because they're going to create problems. Because if, for instance, if each of the local government is going to get, say, 10,000 naira every month, they have their plans and all of that. And then you come to a state like Lagos, for instance, where you have 20-something LCDAs, how are they going to survive?
How do you factor that in?
So it shows that it was a decision that was not properly guided as when it was taken. You know, so I think that the Lagos State government now needs to go back to their drawing board and begin to decide, because I do not see any of these LGAs that are already known taking money from. How are they going to even move the money when they can't move more than 500,000? And they need to also explain. If you read the report by the fund NFU-IU or so,
Financial Intelligence Unit.
So they're going to work closely with them. So it's going to be difficult for anybody to move money from the local government account to an LCD account.
Sorry, this is the same question somebody threw at me this morning when I posted about this report. And look, let's be open to these things. There was a time these LCDAs were created, and the government on top at that time said we don't recognize them. Somehow, the state found a way around it, and they were funded, and they are still being funded till 2019.
Okay.
That was from Obasanjo regime. I don't think this is a problem.
But the funds came back.
No, the funds came. What I'm saying is that even at that, they are still allocated to the old local government, not the LCDAs.
So you're saying they will find a way
but
to
because
survive.
the thing is that all these LCDAs are under a particular local government.
Sure.
they are not on their own. For instance, we are Sule local government. My LCDA is Itre Kate.
But as a local government chairman,
you have a chairman. That's what I'm saying. In terms of funding, the funding will still go to Sule, and they've always been doing this. I'm sure it's not a problem.
Okay.
And then let us not use Lagos. Lagos is just one state. I don't think there are SCDAs in Anambra where I come
states.
from.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think it's a good movement, and then but then it's going to now make local government very serious. We are going to now hold them responsible, and they have to be accountable for whatever they are doing. Okay. Because before now, local governments were dead. What they do is they give them money to pay salaries, and then all kinds of characters are appointed to local government to be chairman. So this is the most important level of government, and you just send those who help you to win elections. Sorry,
Chooks, I'm going to ask a question to this table now.
Quickly.
I'm happy with, like I keep saying, I'm so happy with this. But now the question is, I think the government should get a step further, and that step further is to say, who is in charge of conducting local government elections?
Okay.
Because if that is not taken care of, you will still have the same bottleneck and problem.
As against what we have where people are being imposed. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
I must tell you, I'm very excited with this development.
Everybody is excited.
And I must say that we have taken the first step. Other steps will follow. Yeah. There are a lot of problems. See, Nigeria has 1 million problems. We will keep solving them one after the other. The excitement for me, the main thing is that I know, okay, this is the local government chairman. When I want to vote, I put my energy more in electing that chairman. That
because that's the closest to me.
Is the closest man to ensuring that I have better future for my children and myself. Convenience is very key. That man I'm going to hold responsible. I'm telling you, I'm going to hold him responsible, and I hope that Nigerians can actually understand that their local government chairmen are the most important, they are the closest to them of all this arm of government. The moment we begin to take them responsible and make sure that we elect responsible individuals, characters into this office, Nigeria will begin to transform for the better.
Okay. All right. The NFIU has warned banks to comply with this new order with immediate effect, and to be precise, with effect from the 1st of June 2019. Any bank that allows any transaction from any local government account without monies first reaching a particular local government account will be sanctioned 100%, both locally and internationally. So this is great news, really. I'm sure people are dancing at the various local government areas across both.
Yeah, but you see, it brings me back to what I've been saying. Yeah. We need to leave the presidency, begin to hold our state and our local government responsible.
Yes.
Yes, that's the only way we can get what we want in this country. And it's now, people will now be, the local government chairman will now know that, if something goes wrong,
people will come after them.
Yeah.
You know, if we spend all the energy we spend fighting presidency, and we're fighting our state governors and the local government chairman, this country will be a
okay, Mr. Shoaib, 10 seconds.
I'm very happy, and I'm just hoping that we can continue to see this kind of progress.
Yeah.
It won't be all dark for APC government. I'm hoping we can continue to see this. To the future, it will guarantee better life, and people can ask more questions. I can go to my chairman's house and knock on his door. Baba, that road you said you are going to tar, you have not tarred it. I know his house. I'll follow up with him.
All right, Chooks, in 10 seconds, quickly.
Mine is that the next level thing is becoming more interesting. It's like we are beginning to have a feel of government. There's also the issue of taking containers from Apapa Wharf by rail, and these are the things people want. So I hope that the president will also get down to his drawing board and deal with insecurity. That's another major issue we need to
All right, we have to go. Nigerians are not joking. They're not taking any jokes from Buhari, because human lives are not meant to be joked about. Buhari has kept inept security chiefs for 4 years now, even when it's obvious they have failed. IK from Ogba sent that one in. Thank you, Mr. Shoaib Samson. Thank you, Prince Chilaka. And thank you, Chooks Nwanne, for today. Thank you, viewers. We'll be back again tomorrow, same time. Keep it a date. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.